Hey guys, Wyatt Claypool here. So let's just cut to the chase. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal government has turned into a flaming car wreck on the side of the road that Canadians gawk at as they drive on by. Last night, Sean Fraser, Canada's housing minister and supposed rising Trudeau like star, according to the Liberal media, resigned from cabinet and he said he's not going to be running for re election. And then the big bombshell is that this morning, Christia Freeland, Canada's finance minister, has resigned from cabinet, but she is planning on still running for re-election 2025, which indicates to me that there could be a second attempt at a palace coup against Justin Trudeau, with Chrystia Freeland either leading it or backing someone to challenge Trudeau for the Liberal Party leadership. This is all hilarious because every single member of the Liberal government deserves this amount of public embarrassment and chaos. Let's get into the letter that Christia Freeland released this morning because it is absolutely scathing. You can tell she is coming for Justin Trudeau's head. And honestly, this shocked me because even though I made a video 2 days ago talking about why I think Freeland was going to resign within 3 months, didn't take that long. I never really expected her to be the sort of person to go directly at Trudeau the way she is here. I always saw her as kind of a loyalist. You know, we all remember what she did during the Freedom Convoy. She froze massive amounts of Canadians' bank accounts for donating to the Freedom Convoy. She has backed Justin Trudeau to the absolute hilt. So I could see her maybe leaking things on Trudeau, but this is absolutely just shredding him in the public view. So I will read her letter here in just a second. But first, I will remind you guys, if you're not yet a subscriber, please subscribe to the National Telegraph channel. Go hit the subscribe button and also like this video. I have a bet with my friends to reach 100,000 subscribers by December of next year, or I owe them all dinner. So please help me in this venture. Anyways, so I'm going to read Christia Freeland's letter here that she released just about an hour ago. It is actually quite shocking. So she says, "Dear Prime Minister, it has been the honor of my life to serve in government working for Canada and Canadians. We have accomplished a lot together. On Friday, you told me you no longer want me to serve as your finance minister and offered me another position in cabinet. Upon reflection, I have concluded that the only honest and viable path is for me to resign from cabinet. I assume this also means she's going to stop being the deputy prime minister, because how could you stay on that role saying that you and the prime minister just fundamentally disagree on issues? But anyways, I digress. I'll keep reading. To be effective, a minister must speak on behalf of the prime minister and with his full confidence. In making your decision, you made clear that I no longer credibly enjoy that confidence and possess the authority that comes with it. For the past number of weeks, you and I have found ourselves at odds about the best path forward for Canada. Wow. Our country today faces a grave challenge. The incoming administration in the United States is pursuing a policy of aggressive economic nationalism, including a threat of 25% tariffs. We need to take that threat extremely seriously. That means keeping our fiscal powder dry today so we have the reserves we may need for a coming tariff war. That means eschewing costly political gimmicks, which we can ill afford and which Canadians doubt we can recognize which makes Canadians doubt that we could recognize the gravity of the moment. That is an absolutely insane line. She is saying that to the $250 checks in April and this GST HST tax freeze, this holiday freeze, is an absolute political gimmick. And she's right about the tariff war. If there is going to be tariffs put on Canada's economy, which I kind of doubt, all we have to do is just tighten up security on the border. Why, though, if there was going to be tariffs, would you blow all your money on just random, who cares, like handouts now that aren't really going to help anyone? Nobody really cared about it. Like, the polling shows nobody likes the Liberals more for handing out this money. When you might need it in a few months when Trump tariffs you, which again, he's probably not, but never say never. But Trudeau apparently thinks that we're all in the clear, so he can just burn cash. My goodness. Anyways, I will keep reading here. She says that means pushing back against America First economic nationalism, with a determined effort to fight for capital and investment and the jobs they bring. That means working in good faith and humility with the premiers and the provinces and territories of our great and diverse country. You always have to mention the diversity, and building a true Team Canada response. I know Canadians would recognize and respect such an approach. They know we are working for them, and they equally know that we are focused on ourselves. Inevitably, our time in government will come to an end. But I do like that. That's funny. But how do we deal with the threat our country currently faces will define us for a generation uh, and perhaps longer. Canada will win if we are strong, smart, and united. It is this conviction which has driven my strenuous efforts this fall to manage our spending in ways that will give us the flexibility we need to meet the serious challenges presented by the United States. And this line is key because she is saying it is the blowing out of the deficit that was the last straw, because she was technically on track to stay below a $40 billion deficit, which, let's be fair, is not impressive. That's still a crazy deficit. But Trudeau, with these $250 handouts and the GST holiday, basically just said, yeah, we're going to have like a $48 billion deficit. Deal with it, Freeland. Take it on the chin. But anyways, I will finish up here. I will always be grateful for the chance to have served in government, and I will always be proud of our government's work for Canada and Canadians. I look forward to continuing to work with my colleagues as a Liberal Member of Parliament, and I am committed to running again for my seat in Toronto in the next federal election. With gratitude, the Honourable Chrystia Freeland. Absolutely hilarious. Because, again, she's just saying that Trudeau's a fraud. And this, to me, reading that letter there, reads like a campaign pitch. It really reads like a campaign press release, like Freeland is going to declare that if Trudeau would just resign, I will take the leadership of this party, I will run as leader and show you how to do it. I don't think she knows how to do it. I think all of these people are incompetent, but it is effectively a bunch of rats trying to jump off the sinking ship of Justin Trudeau and preemptively, knife him. This is Christia Freeland knifing Justin Trudeau because he was probably about to suddenly announce her departure or force her to resign. So before Justin Trudeau could force Freeland to resign, she suddenly resigned right before the fall economic statement, which is really embarrassing for the government, and says, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be a member of parliament. I'm not going to take any cabinet handouts. I'm not going to be your, women and diversity minister. I'm just going to go sit as a backbencher and watch you fail on your own. And who's finance minister at this point? That's been the big problem with the Liberal government, other than they're corrupt and terrible, is that they've brain drained the party. Bill Morneau was not a good finance minister because he listened to Justin Trudeau's every wish and tried to deliver it, and Justin Trudeau's a complete moron. But Bill Morneau was like an actual finance guy. In like a Paul Martin or Jean Chrétien government, you could see him actually succeeding in finance and doing a generally okay job. With Trudeau at the helm, no chance. But then Freeland was a massive downgrade from Bill Morneau. And who do you put in that position after Bill Morneau? This is exactly like the Attorney General. You went from Jody Wilson-Raybould, who actually wasn't that good either. I know there's kind of a glow around her because she stood up to Trudeau. She was still not a very good Attorney General and Justice Minister, but it went from her to the absolute sociopath David Lametti, who actually, in fact, thought that the Liberals went too soft on the Freedom Convoy. And then from David Lametti, it went to Arif Virani, who is an absolute empty suit. He truly is like the C team in terms of who you would put on as your finance minister. Like, I guess he's a lawyer. I guess he has a law degree, so he can technically be the justice minister. But really, can he? Can he really be justice minister? Who are you going to put in as finance minister? Mark Garrettson? I don't even know who else is in the Liberal government that's nameworthy at this point. That's the problem. The entire government is full of just nobodies, just Trudeau talking heads, people who all they say is, I agree with Justin. Justin's doing a bang up job. Don't you know that the carbon tax actually gives you more back than you pay into it? Don't you know? Don't you know? Jenna Sudds is exactly that kind of person as family and child development minister. Guys, did you know that you're getting your child benefit check in the mail tomorrow? Isn't that so exciting? Isn't that so exciting? It's like, no, it isn't. No, it isn't, Jenna. Stop it. Stop being stupid. Nobody likes handouts. And I know it's a tax credit, and it's like basically money back on your taxes for like having a family. But still, why do they keep hyping up just random money from the government as if it's like a gift? You've just received a gift from God because the liberal government have decided to cut you a check for like the amount of to like keep yourself financially somewhat solvent. But yeah, I wanted to quickly cut over to what went on at the fall economic development because it's embarrassing. Journalists were leaving the room because it was so clear that this event was not going to go forward. But first, actually, let's look at this cartoon that somebody reposted this morning of a liberal outlet trying to hype up Sean Fraser and make him look cool. Here's a political cartoon of a big Sean Fraser chasing down Pierre Poilievre saying, "Look out." And on his briefcase, it says Sean Fraser, MP, housing plan. Yeah, that worked out really well. Clearly, Justin Trudeau wanted Fraser out of cabinet because he was doing such a bang up job, not because everyone can see that the Liberals' housing policy sucks. Blanket rezoning a bunch of cities around Canada, bribing them to do it, isn't going to solve the housing problem. You need to reduce taxes, environmental regulations, and the amount of paperwork hoops that you have to jump through. Blanket rezoning has nothing to do with that. You can have zoning laws and have cheap housing. You need to make it easy to build those houses and not have it take years to be able to get your permits and to be able to actually start putting down a foundation. Anyways, but here was what happened at the fall economic development shortly after Christia Freeland announced her resignation. This is Brian Passfume reporting, and he just shows this is the room like an hour after Freeland said that she was not going to stay on as finance minister, and the room emptied out. These chairs were full right before Chrystia Freeland said that she wasn't going to run again, and now the room is absolutely empty because nobody has confidence that the government's actually even going to bother with this announcement today after that bombshell. Here is Sean Fraser reacting to Freeland saying that she is resigning from the cabinet, a very defeated Sean Fraser reacting.
Look, I'll tell you that I had the opportunity to work alongside Minister Freeland as her parliamentary secretary during the second half of the COVID-19 pandemic. I found her to be professional, supportive of me as a member of parliament, and I consider her a friend, and that friendship will continue long after my time in politics.
This strikes me as curious. I don't know why you're saying all these things about her being a friend, unless you might be backing her play potentially to try and get rid of Justin Trudeau. Because if you know that Freeland's resigning and she's at odds with Trudeau and she put out that really scathing letter, you probably go a little bit milder in terms of, yeah, I like Freeland, but she says that she doesn't want to serve in cabinet anymore, and that's her choice. But this is like him backing up his credentials as a big Freeland booster.
What that says about not knowing her own take on the reasons behind that decision makes it very difficult for me to assess what it may mean. But my sense is that she's been an excellent team member to work alongside, and I continue to consider her a friend. When it comes to the government, if a portion of your question referred to my view on what it may mean for the government, is that as compared to the product on offer on the other side of the chamber, it's very clear that my own party supports the priorities that I think are most important to people at home. Investing in healthcare.
Notice how he still hasn't said a single good thing about Prime Minister Trudeau during this answer.
Putting money on the table to make life more affordable, doing something serious to address the pressing threat of climate change. So from my own perspective, the choice is clear as to who will offer a superior point of view to Canadians when it comes time for them to go to the ballot boxes. But in the meantime, questions about my colleague, Ms. Freeland's motivation.
Minute 30 seconds, there is not a mention of Justin Trudeau, not a mention of saying, I think that Justin Trudeau, I have confidence in him as the leader. He's the right man for the job. Well, if obviously, if the prime minister doesn't have confidence in a finance minister, the finance minister must go. There was none of that. a year ago, 2 years ago, they would have just been absolutely hammering the person who was finance minister, saying they disagreed with the prime minister. I can't believe they're such a horrible person. It's good to see him go. Good riddance. You know, they're a great friend, but they have to step down. They would have just been doing that. Now they're like, Christia Freeland is, you know, a lady and a scholar. She's amazing. Big Disney Plus enthusiast. Like, it's been bad. It's bad for Trudeau, because when Freeland is getting more well wishes on the way out without a mention of Justin Trudeau at all, big red flag. Big red flag that there is going to be another palace coup with Christia Freeland leading it, you know, taking her stiletto and trying like beat Justin Trudeau to death, because you can tell that lady dumped her entire life into backing Trudeau and he just stabbed her in the back. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you can, like this video, leave a comment, and I will see you guys in probably just a few hours when something else completely insane happens in the Liberal government. See you guys later.